What's going on, guys? It's your boy Brendan from Modern to Me, and today we're going to be talking about random numbers. Random numbers are so important to game development because they really make the foundation of everything that is random in games. If you have random levels, random enemies, random anything really is generated by random numbers. So let's get right into it. In Java, there's only one method in this math class that returns a random number. And what it actually does is it returns a double. So let's make a double, just call it random. And we're going to set it equal to this math.random method. No parameters or anything. You just set it, or you just get the random double from this random method in the math class. So what the range of number this random method returns is it returns a number from, let's go, it's from 0.0000 to anything less than 1.0. So it returns a number in this range. So let's just kind of print a lot of these out, just so I can kind of show you what's going on. So let's just make a for loop. We'll set in I equal to 0, I less than 15, and I plus plus. If you remember, oops, we need a semicolon. There we go. If you remember from the for loop tutorial, what this does is it creates this iteration variable, this integer, and essentially it's going to run this block of code 15 times. So while I is 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 14, this code is going to run. So let's print out system.out.println. We are going to print out random, and each time we are going to assign this random variable a new number. So random equal to math.random. You could just directly print out math.random. So let's actually just comment this out for now. We're going to need it later, I think. And copy this, and we'll just put this in here just so I can teach you efficient coding. There we go. And get rid of that semicolon, and now let's run this. We see we get this whole different span of numbers. We got all the way from 0.0188 all the way up to 0.989, 0.99 already, and then everything in between, like 0.66. So there you go. That's kind of the range of numbers it returns, just so you see what I'm talking about. But in all honesty, that's not very useful. Let's make this method a little bit more practical. So there's actually kind of sort of a little formula, because really, in all reality, you usually want to use this method to get a random integer within a span of numbers. Like you might want to get the integers 1 to 20, a random number from 1 to 20, or maybe for some reason like 10 to 100, you want a random number from that range. So there's a formula for this. So you have the math dot, let's just get rid of this. Let's get rid of everything we've typed so far. Okay. So you have this math.random method, and that's going to return from 0.0 to anything less than 1, any decimal value. So if you want to have a number from, let's go 1 to 10. Let me type that out. So there's the range from 1 to 10 is 10 numbers. So you're going to want to multiply the result by 10. But let's put this in parentheses because you want it to multiply by 10 first. So you're going to get a number from 0.0 to less than 1, and you're going to multiply that number by 10. So if you think about that, if you can get a number from 0 to anything less than 1, if you multiply 0 by 10, that's still 0. And then if you multiply 1 by 10, that's 10. But you can't get 1. So you'd get anything from 0, let me just get rid of this. You get anything from 0 to like 9.9999. So that would be the range. It's not less than, it would be anything from that range is what you'd get. So you don't want it from 0, you want it from 1 to 10. So then you add 1. So now you have the range 1 to 10.9999. And now earlier in one of my tutorials, I was talking about how annoying it is that the typecasting, this little doohickey right here, when if you type like int and then have a float value like decimal, how it just truncates the decimal. Well, that's actually so useful for us in this situation right here. Now enough talking, let's just print this bad boy out. So let's create our for loop again. I could have kept that for loop, but no harm in learning things over again. So we're creating our int, and we're gonna have it iterate from 0 to 14 and increment it by 1 each time. Okay, looking good. And now let's print out this thing that we just typed up here. So we're going to print out system.out.println, and we have this math.random. We have this massive, this is going to end up being a float value, this whole thing from 1.00 to 10.999. But remember, like I was saying, this typecast is going to get rid of this decimal. So it's going to change this range from 1 to 10. And that's exactly what we want. So let's see what kind of numbers we get when we print this out. Nice, we get the values 2 to 10. That was just kind of unlucky though. Let's try that again. There, now we see the first value we get is 1. 1 to 10 is the range we get from this, so we know that's working well. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So what exactly did we do here? What is this formula? Let's say you wanted something other than 1 to 10. How would you get that to work? So you have your math, need a space here. You have your math.random. Okay. And then you're multiplying it by, so last time we multiplied it by 10. What is that 10? That 10 is the number of random values, the range that we want. So you can think of it as max minus min plus 1. That's kind of what we did last time. Actually, it's not kind of what we did, it's exactly what we did. So the maximum value we wanted was 10. So the max was 10. The minimum value was 1. And then we want to add 1 because if we did max minus min, we'd be getting 9. And we want the whole range of numbers because there's 10 numbers from the range of 1 to 10. So you need to add 1 just to be inclusive and include all of the numbers. So max minus min plus 1. Okay, and make sure you add all of these parentheses here. Otherwise, the order of operations might get mixed up, so it's easier just to add those and not have to deal with the bug later. So you have all of those, and then you're going to add the minimum value. Our minimum value was 1, but if you wanted to get the numbers from 2 to 11, you just add 2, and you get the same exact thing. Or, well, you get 2 to 11, exactly what you wanted, I should say. So this is the formula right here. If you want to like write this down, I'll put it in the description for you guys, but that is the formula you want to use to generate a random number. I hope this tutorial helped you out. Next time, we're not having a tutorial, we're having a coding exercise, and this one's actually going to be really important. It's going to be a really good one, so make sure you watch that one. I promise you won't regret it. It's really fun. It's actually getting into game development. Ooh, so I'll see you guys there.